Idaho State Tax Commission, taxing districts and tax code areas. This information pertains to Idaho State Tax Commission boundary change requirements in Idaho statute. Taxing districts may have additional legal requirements when changing their boundary that are not covered in this material. Taxing districts must follow their statutory requirements even if they are not covered in this material. And the material in this course is not intended as legal advice. What is a taxing district? Taxing districts provide services to a given region and are funded by property taxes. Some taxing districts you might already be familiar with include highway districts, flood control, fire protection, and municipal water. What is a tax code area? Tax code areas, or TCAs, represent a unique combination of overlapping taxing districts. Each tax code area is assigned a unique 7-digit number within a county. Tax code area numbers change as taxing district boundaries change. How TCA numbers work. Here we have an example of TCA 0040000. The district makeup includes Lemhi County, Lemhi County Library, Lemhi County Road and Bridge, and Salmon School District number 291. Here we have an example of a fire district annexation. Once the annexation takes place, you can see that the district makeup has changed to also include Elk Bend Fire, and the TCA number has changed to 0290000. Here's an example of a sewer district annexation. Elk Bend Sewer has been added to the district makeup, and the TCA number has changed to 0060000. What is a boundary change? A boundary change can be the creation of a taxing district, annexation into a taxing district, de-annexation out of a taxing district, consolidation of taxing districts, or the dissolution of a taxing district. How do I start the process? Every taxing district type has unique requirements for changing its boundary. Check Idaho code pertaining to your district type, as taxing districts are responsible for following statutory requirements. For more information, check Idaho State Tax Commission's Taxing District Statutes Guide at the link below. What is ISTC's role? The Idaho State Tax Commission ensures boundary changes meet mapping guidelines set forward in Idaho statute and administrative rule. The Tax Commission assigns new tax code area numbers according to changes that are made and will notify districts when those changes have been recognized or not. What does Idaho State Tax Commission need? All documents that you submit to the Idaho State Tax Commission should be recorded with the county clerk and be signed by the appropriate official. Please provide district contact information as well. Include a legal description and a map that matches the legal description. Who makes the map? The taxing district will need to provide the map, and it's recommended to work with a registered land surveyor. Some counties do help with map preparation, but the Idaho State Tax Commission cannot make the map. What's required on the map? The map must match the legal description and include a reference to the public land survey system. If it uses lot and block descriptions, you must include a copy of the recorded subdivision plot. And whenever possible, show the existing district boundary on the map. Why the requirements? These requirements exist because taxing district boundary changes affect property taxes. Any errors can affect property taxes unintentionally. The Idaho State Tax Commission needs definitive information to make changes, and these requirements prevent unintentional errors. What is a legal description? A legal description describes the location of a boundary change. There are several types of legal descriptions. There's distance and direction, or meets and bounds, reference to public land survey system, or PLSS, and lot and block subdivision. You can also combine any of these three to make a legal description. Before we discuss a legal description for the public land survey system, it's important to know how the system works. There are four main components to the PLSS. There's township and range, section, aliquot parts, and government lots. Township and range. A township and range can also be referred to as a township, and a township is 6 miles by 6 miles. The public land survey system is a Cartesian coordinate system. This coordinate system has a beginning point, or 0, and then you count north and south and east and west from that point. Here you see a grid of townships, which are 6 miles by 6 miles. The townships count north to south, the ranges east to west. A township is made up of sections, and every section is 1 mile by 1 mile. In each township, there are 36 sections. Within each township, the sections are numbered from 1 through 36, starting in the northeast and ending in the southeast. Aliquot parts are divisions of a section. Those could be quarter sections, which can be northeast quarter, southwest quarter, or northwest quarter. They can also be a quarter of a quarter section. For example, the northeast quarter of the northeast quarter, or the southeast quarter of the northeast quarter. In this format, you read the smallest component first. You could also have halves, for instance, a west half, an east half, or a north and south half. Government lots. These are used to account for irregular areas within a section. Here is an example of a river crossing through a section. You can see the lot numbers sequentially number along the river as it flows through the section. Another use of government lots is to correct the error in the public land survey system. Here you see an ideal section, which is a 1 mile by 1 mile section, but in actuality this section is less than that. For areas that are smaller than a quarter, government lots are used to account for the space. Now that we have covered the PLSS basics, here's a legal description using the reference to the public land survey system. A parcel of land located in Section 28, Township 2 South, Range 2 West, Boise Meridian, Ada County, Idaho, described as the north half of the southeast quarter. This can more simply be written as the north half of the southeast quarter of Section 28, Township 2 South, Range 2 West, Boise Meridian. Now let's try and locate this legal description. Let's start with Township 2 South, Range 2 West. On the graphic to the left, you can see where Township 2 South and Range 2 West is. Now let's find Section 28. On the graphic to the right, you can see where Section 28 is. Here we have Section 28. Let's find the southeast quarter of Section 28. The southeast quarter is at the bottom right. Now we just need the north half of that, and we've completed this legal description. Distance and direction. This is another type of legal description, also called metes and bounds. On the left, you can see the text of the legal description, and on the right, a map showing what the legal description draws out. This type of legal description needs to start with a reference to the public land survey system. You can find that here at the beginning where it states, a parcel of land situated in a portion of the southwest quarter of the northwest quarter of Section 26. Township 51 North, Range 4 West of the Boise Meridian. Following the reference to the PLSS is the point of commencing. This is where the distances and directions move from a known corner of the PLSS to the property in question. Once you have reached the property in question, you are given the point of beginning, or true point of beginning. Following the true point of beginning will be several distances and directions. These will travel around the perimeter of a district's boundary change. Once the distances and directions have returned to the true point of beginning, the legal description is complete. Let's take a look at what this legal description looks like on a map. Here you can see the call to the public land survey system. Next is the distance and direction that brings us to the true point of beginning. Following the true point of beginning are the calls that bring us around the perimeter of the boundary change and back to the true point of beginning. Notice that the map includes labels for the distances and directions. This is one of the most important components of the map as it helps relate the text of the legal description directly to the map. On this map you can also see that the existing district boundary is identified. This should be included whenever possible. Lot and block legal descriptions. This is an example of a lot and block legal description. Lot 8, Block 1, Bear Creek Estates. Now let's look at Bear Creek Estates subdivision plat to see what this describes. Subdivisions are typically broken down into lots and blocks. A subdivision is made up of blocks, which are made up of lots. The description from before referenced Block 1. Here is Block 1. On Block 1, we need to locate Lot 8. Here is Lot 8. Using lot and block is as simple as that. Be sure to only reference official subdivision plots that have been recorded with the county. Also, when submitting a legal description to Idaho State Tax Commission, you must include a copy of the recorded subdivision plat. What are mistakes to avoid? Here are some common mistakes to avoid. Boundary change documents are not recorded with the county. Only sending a digital copy of the boundary change documents. We still need a hard copy. Documents signed after December 31st deadline. Documents received after January 10th deadline. Legal description cannot be mapped. The map is insufficient or is not included. And the legal description does not close to 1 part in 5,000. Legal description closure. Idaho law requires legal descriptions to close to 1 part in 5,000. So what does that mean? To get the misclosure ratio, you need to add up the perimeter of the boundary and then divide by the distance of misclosure. Here is an example of a boundary. The first call is 100 feet, the second 150 feet, the third 100, and the last is 100 feet. You can see that there is a gap. This is the misclosure, which measures 50 feet. So if we add up the perimeter of the boundary, we get 450 feet. We then divide by the misclosure of 50 feet and get 9 feet, or 1 part in 9. This is not acceptable closure. Now let's fix this problem. Let's say we were able to get the surveyor to change the last call so that it is 149.95 feet. With this new measurement, the misclosure is 0.05 feet. Let's do the calculation. The perimeter is now 499.95 feet, and we divide that by the misclosure of 0.05 feet. We get 9,999 feet, or 1 part in 9,999. This is acceptable closure. Insufficient legal description. When providing a legal description, there are some types that are not sufficient. You cannot use tax numbers. Tax numbers are a kind of shorthand for a legal description, referencing deeds associated with tax numbers, and are used internally in the assessor's office. In this example of a tax number reference, you can see that it calls to the PLSS and to tax number 192. The tax numbers that follow are then used to subtract from the first. These are insufficient because there is not an actual legal description given. Also, you should not reference parcel numbers as a legal description. Parcel numbers typically change each time they are split, but that is not always the case. However, you can include a tax or parcel number if you include a legal description. This is typically found on the deed. Here is an example of a legal description for tax number 107. At the top is a reference to the tax number, and following that is the legal description associated with it. Here is an example of a legal description for a parcel number. At the bottom is a reference to the parcel number, and the above text is the legal description. Here are some examples of insufficient maps. In this first map, there is a highlighted area that is most likely the boundary change. However, this map does not tie into the PLSS, nor does it label the calls in the legal description. This second example shows in red the desired boundary change, but the line is irregular and would likely not match any legal description provided. It also doesn't include labels for the calls in the legal description, and it doesn't reference the PLSS. These guidelines for mapping exist because any changes to a district boundary will also change the taxes of the property owner. We need definitive legal descriptions and maps to ensure there are no unexpected changes in taxes for property owners. One of the most common problems is when the legal description does not match the map. Here is an example of a legal description and a map that do not match. Beginning in an aluminum cap monument marking the northeast corner of the southeast quarter of said section 22. Here is the map corresponding to this legal description. The northeast corner of the southeast quarter is located here on the map. When the legal description is mapped out, the corner it should be referencing is the southeast corner of the southeast quarter instead of the northeast corner of the southeast quarter. Remember, small typos in the legal description can dramatically change what is mapped. Where do I send documents? When you have all of your boundary change documents ready, send them using the United States Postal Service to P.O. Box 36, Boise, Idaho 83722. If you use a private courier like FedEx, UPS, or others, send documents to 11321 West Chinden Boulevard, Boise, Idaho 83714. Additionally, we suggest using trackable shipping methods. And remember that even if you have sent us documents digitally, we still need a hard copy. What are the deadlines? December 31st. Official boundary change documents must be signed by December 31st to be in the next effective year's tax code areas. January 10th. A hard copy of boundary change documents must be filed with the Idaho State Tax Commission within 30 days of effective date, but no later than January 10th of the effective year. When is the boundary change effective? Once a boundary change is signed, it is effective. However, the tax levy does not change when it is signed. The Idaho State Tax Commission must review the change documents so it can correctly assign a tax code area. Tax code area changes are effective the year after signing. If you would like to see the currently proposed taxing district changes, visit the displayed web address. Here you can choose your desired county and taxing district type. Once you have narrowed your search, you can view all documents that the Tax Commission has received, including the current status of each boundary change. Once your boundary change is recognized by the Idaho State Tax Commission, you'll be sent a letter informing you of its recognition. Here is an example of a boundary change recognition letter for the City of Boise. If there are problems with your boundary change, the Idaho State Tax Commission will send a letter detailing the problem and how to resolve it. Here is an example of a letter detailing the problem and how to fix it. Where can I get tax code area maps? At the above web address, you can access the following data: statewide GIS data. On this page, you choose your desired year and set county to statewide to get the full tax code area layer. County-wide description of numbers. The description of numbers detail the district makeup of each tax code area within a county. County-wide list of changes. The list of changes show all changes that have taken place in a given year and detail the aspects of the boundary change. City, county, and statewide maps. Here is an example of a map for the City of Ketchum. Where can I get taxing district maps? At the address shown, you can access taxing district GIS data, statewide district maps, list of districts by county, and Idaho code pertaining to district type. Here you see the page where you can filter by effective year and by district type. Is there an interactive map? At the web address above, you can access County Interactive Parcel Maps, Proposed District Changes, Tax Code Areas, and Utilities. Where can I find historic documents? At the above web address, you can search for documents by year and refine search with county and district name. Currently, not all documents are available digitally, so contact Idaho State Tax Commission GIS for additional documents. Here you can see the historic document search page. All documents are available to view or download as PDF. What if I notice a boundary discrepancy? Discrepancies in taxing district boundaries are investigated in an audit. To initiate an audit, please gather copies of historical legal descriptions for the district boundary change documents such as ordinances for creation, annexation, and dissolution, provide any maps of the boundary, and any correspondence regarding to the boundary such as letters. Once you have collected supporting documents for an audit, send those documents with a cover letter requesting an audit of a specific area to the Idaho State Tax Commission Geographic Information Systems. The Idaho State Tax Commission will investigate the boundaries and update the tax code areas with any findings. Be aware that any changes to the tax code areas will take effect the following year. When we process audits, they are processed in the order received and when resources allow. What if I have questions? If you have further questions or concerns, please email us at gis@tax.idaho.gov or call us at 208-334-7750, option 3.